Today on Fox 10 Midday, we have a new tropical storm that we're tracking out in the Atlantic. Looks like it's going to head out to sea, but I'll have the details on it anyways coming up.
And President Trump is in the UK this morning, set to begin trade talks with King Charles III.
Israel says it's getting close to eliminating Hamas as the Gaza City ground offensive continues. I'm Greg Palcon in Tel Aviv. That's my story coming up.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome into Fox 10 Midday on your Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. It's September 17th. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
And I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. We do have new tropical information.
You were talking about that.
Tropical storm. Is it going anywhere? No, it's going into the middle of the. There is one little thing. It's a very disorganized tropical storm. Actually, a little surprised that it's been named because it is so disorganized.
What is the name?
Gabrielle is the name. So that is what we have got on the list. The next name on the list now is Umberto. So Gabrielle is just the name that was taken. This is kind of the only really weather thing we have to talk about. Our weather forecast is really quiet, so let's just get into the weeds of it here. A 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm with multiple areas of spin, with one very prominent area that's sticking out of the rest of the clouds here. And you can see that is just a little bit of cumulus clouds that are spinning around some kind of vortex there. What the National Hurricane Center has done has taken, there's a little bit of spin down here too. They're calling the center of circulation in the middle of all these little areas of spin. Long story short, this thing is very disorganized. As I mentioned, it is not going to be impacting land anytime soon, and this is not going to be a threat for the United States. You can see the forecast track takes this as a tropical storm, then eventually as a Category 1 hurricane as it approaches Bermuda. And the folks in Bermuda will want to keep an eye on this thing, but it will not be an issue for us. Those forgetting models also takes this thing just out to sea very near Bermuda. Otherwise, it is a quiet forecast for us here with temperatures that'll get up this afternoon. Here's your current conditions right now. We're sitting in the 80s and we'll be warming up later today. I'll have more on that long range forecast coming up.
All right, Nick, thank you for that update there. 11:02 now, and ahead of trade talks with the UK Prime Minister, the royal family is rolling out the red carpet for President Trump with an elaborate ceremony at Windsor Castle. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the story.
President Trump is receiving the full royal treatment today as he becomes the first U.S. president to have a second state visit with the royal family. A horse-drawn carriage procession setting the tone after President Trump and the First Lady arrived at Windsor Castle. They were met by a guard of honor before the president and King Charles III carried out a military inspection. Then it was off to a private lunch with the king and members of the royal family, all before the marquee event, a glamorous state banquet later this evening.
This is a real honor, and it shows that the special relationship is being strengthened, and importantly for Americans, business-wise.
While the welcome was warm at Windsor Castle, on the streets of London, not so much. Activists from the Stop Trump Coalition held a march protesting the president's visit.
Putting it politely, I don't feel that he's good for the world.
Tomorrow, it's back to business and politics for President Trump as he meets with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The UK wants to improve the trade deal the two countries announced in May, including steel and aluminum tariffs, which are currently charged at 25%.
The British are rolling out everything they possibly can to show President Trump he's welcome. We want to strengthen this relationship.
And in a sign of historic partnership between the two countries, President Trump gifted King Charles a replica of President Eisenhower's sword, a symbol of profound respect. In London, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And a proposed deal that would have ended U.S. tariffs on British steel has been shelved, according to UK media outlets. The current U.S. tariff on British steel imports sits at 25%. Before leaving for his state visit to Britain, President Donald Trump said he was, quote, into helping London refine and finalize its trade deal with Washington, which included the agreement on steel. According to the U.S. International Trade Administration, the United States is the 5th biggest importer of UK steel. Well, in the meantime, the Israeli military pushed deeper into Gaza City in the second full day of its offensive against the Hamas terror stronghold. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palkot has more now from Tel Aviv.
Gaza is in chaos as Israeli ground troops push deeper into Gaza City. It's the second full day of this new offensive. They're targeting the main Hamas stronghold in the center of the city, while issuing a stark warning to the terror group's leadership not to use the hostages as human shields.
If they hit one hair on the head of one hostage, we will hunt them down even harder for the rest of their lives.
3 Israeli ground divisions are now facing off against some 3,000 Hamas fighters, with countless civilians caught in the crossfire. Dozens have been reported killed so far, while others work on getting out of the city. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claims he has President Trump's full support, but the president says he's not so sure about that.
Will you support that?
Well, I have to see. I mean, I don't know too much about it.
Meanwhile, hospitals throughout Gaza are being overwhelmed, forcing doctors to make difficult choices.
We are forced to treat the patients on the floor. We have to make choices between saving lives, between children, between the elderly.
Diplomats are now scrambling to get a new ceasefire in place, but a recent Israeli airstrike on Hamas negotiators in Qatar is making it difficult to get both sides back to the bargaining table.
If Prime Minister Netanyahu wants peace, he knew the road to peace a long time ago. He just decided not to go through it.
Netanyahu says he's accepted an invitation to meet with President Trump at the White House in 2 weeks after his speech at the UN General Assembly. In Tel Aviv, Greg Palkot, Fox News.
Also this morning, we're learning more about a possible motive in the assassination of political commentator Charlie Kirk. Prosecutors have outlined their case against the alleged gunman, and this is what they've said. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson is charged in the attack. Prosecutors read text messages between Robinson and his roommate. And speaking about Kirk, prosecutors say Robinson told the roommate that he, quote, had enough of his hatred. Robinson had planned to leave no evidence according to those text messages, but investigators say the rifle used was found on the scene with his DNA on it. Lawmakers right now are pushing for more answers. Some are blaming, quote, the radical left, while others are trying to work across the aisle in reducing political violence.
We just got to realize we've had people on both sides murdered, and I think it's better to treat it that way. We have a chance to say, hey, political violence is wrong, period. And it affects both parties, right? They're all been targeted to some degree.
When I hear not just our current president, but his aides, who have a history of calling political opponents vermin, enemies, who need to be targeted, that speaks to a broader problem that we have right now, and something that we're going to have to grapple with, all of us.
Now, Robinson will have another court hearing on September 29th. And with political violence taking center stage right now between the killing of Charlie Kirk and the assassinations of Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman, Alabama lawmakers reflect on the past and stress that change begins in neighborhoods, not in Washington. Law experts on both sides of the aisle are urging a return to unity and civility.
Well, I mean, the violence over the last few years in our community is not only related to political violence, it's just the violence amongst the young folks in trying to settle every dispute with a gun.
I think unity is a quest for sure, but I think civility and engagement and respect for your fellow man, I think that's the bigger message. That's the most important thing front and center right now.
There are suspects in both killings, and they have both since been arrested. And in local headlines now, officials are speaking out about a case they say is an example of the revolving door at Mobile County Metro Jail. 40-year-old Joshua Skipper was arrested twice while out on bond awaiting trial for attempted murder charges from 2022. Investigators say the first incident happened in November. Authorities arrested Skipper for allegedly cutting a man's hand with a large knife outside a lounge. Jail records show he was released the next day on bond. Officials say a few months after that, though, Skipper allegedly attacked his daughter. Well, he was booked last week and charged with domestic violence. The district attorney's office filed a motion to revoke Skipper's bond, and a judge granted that request.
His bond absolutely should have been revoked back in May. That's something that we have a lot of processes in place for to address so that different people within the office can flag a defendant if they're already out on bond and they commit a new offense. We've taken measures to make sure that this doesn't happen moving forward.
Skipper's attorney, Jason Darley, says deputies investigating the domestic violence incident only got one side of the story and did not interview his client. Meanwhile, Skipper's trial for attempted murder is set to start in November. Also this morning, a major drug bust has led to several thousand fentanyl pills seized. Sheriff Paul Birch says this is all thanks to a 2-month-long narcotics investigation that included Homeland Security investigations. The sheriff says they were able to identify suspects, which ultimately led them to a storage unit at the Crossings at Pine Brook Apartments. On your screen, these are the results of those search warrants. Investigators were able to seize 1,100 grams of marijuana, 276 grams of suspected Xanax bars, 384 bottles of promethazine, and coating syrup, and what's believed to be 10,000 fentanyl pills, but this could just be the beginning.
Well, that's just what we were able to seize at the time of the search warrant. You know, obviously they've been in business for a while, and you know, we were able to disrupt the operation, but there's a lot of drugs that they were able to get on the street. So the significance is that, you know, we've stopped the flow from this source.
The sheriff adds this is an ongoing investigation and they plan to identify those involved once it's over. Well, it's 11:11 now. Don't go anywhere. We have much more coming up right here on Fox 10 Midday. A new survey is out now showing where Gen Z is when it comes to renting or buying a home. But first, let's check in with Nick before we go.
And in our forecast, dry conditions expected to continue, and that means we're going to have to monitor the drought monitor. We get an update on this tomorrow, but for now it shows abnormally dry conditions for a good portion of our area. We're talking rain chances in that long-range forecast coming up on the other side of the break.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday this morning. In Florida, property insurance reforms aren't working, according to an independent report. Lawmakers said their 2022 reforms would lower costs by reducing lawsuits, but independent ratings firm Weiss Ratings found nearly half of the claims after Hurricanes Helene and Milton were actually denied last year. Lawsuits are up 4% from before the reforms were implemented.
When you work hard, when you pay for your property insurance premium every single month, you are expecting that when a natural disaster strikes and in your time of need, that your insurance company will come through.
Chief Financial Officer Blaise Ngoglia says his office is holding insurance companies accountable. Just last month, 8 companies were fined more than $2 million for not paying claims after Hurricanes Ian and Idalia.
.16 is your time now here. Let's look at what it looks like outside. There's the lovely view at Pensacola Beach, where the water is just so very clear. It'd be a lovely time to be down there, and not many people are down there at this moment. The temperatures are warm as well down at the beach. Really nice conditions overall. We love those camera views. All right, let's go ahead and get a look at our forecast headlines for the days ahead. Comfortable mornings and warm afternoons will continue. We have something new to talk about, though, a new tropical storm that we're tracking in the tropics, which have finally come off of their very, very quiet period. But the good news is we're not seeing any threats to the United States. This is Tropical Storm Gabrielle. It's a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm that is highly, highly disorganized. It has multiple areas plenty of spin embedded with it, with the aggregate center somewhere around what the National Hurricane Center puts it there. 1,085 miles east of the northern Leeward Islands. 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm with pressure of 1,006 millibars. It is moving to the north-northwest, generally at around 22 miles per hour. And looking at the forecast track with Gabrielle, it is expected to stay a tropical storm with very, very gradual strengthening in the days ahead. Thursday and Friday, staying a tropical storm. Then eventually it gets close to the island of Bermuda. And once it does that, it could become a hurricane here. 85-mile-per-hour hurricane there, Category 1. That is next Monday, so quite a ways away here. By the end of the day on Sunday, we could have a hurricane that is approaching the island. Folks in Bermuda will want to keep an eye on this, but in the United States, this is not a threat. This is going to continue to turn out to sea. In our local forecast, we're tracking dry conditions, which continue. This is an abnormally dry area here that you see on the drought monitor. This drought monitor will actually get an update tomorrow. We're running a deficit in Mobile. We'll see how this rolls when we get to tomorrow's update, but the tan area here in the dry, the tan area is in the moderate drought officially. That yellow area is abnormally dry. We will see how this evolves, and it looks like our dry forecast is generally continuing. Our forecast today, temperatures in the 90s for most areas with mainly sunny skies and pretty much a 0% chance of rain. 92 in Monroeville, 92 in Bruton, and 91 in Jackson. Looking at Mobile and Baldwin counties, if you're down at the beach, great conditions. 83 Dauphin Island, 88 Gulf Shores, a low risk rip currents, and in northwest Florida, dry conditions continue as well with temperatures in the 90s. Looking at that long range forecast, you can see those temperatures in the 90s all the way through. Monday starts fall, and I have a little bit of moisture in here, so some very, very small rain chances, but not very high at all. It is generally a quiet forecast over the next 7 days.
I'll take it, Nick. Thank you. A recent survey out now shows a lack of interest in home ownership among Generation Z. But what exactly does that mean for the country? Rachel Flynn finds out.
Gen Z's lack of interest in becoming homeowners could signal a shift in the country. Anyone born between the years of 1997 and 2012 is considered a Gen Zer, making up 20% of the population. But are they disinterested?
I definitely don't want to rent long term. I would definitely like to own in the future. Owning is an investment you can turn around and you can make profit on, whereas renting, it's kind of serves a purpose in the moment, but it's money down the drain long term.
Lana Roberts and her sister Laura Grace Roberts say they do want to eventually buy a home.
I wouldn't want to be here and there. I would want to have like a stable place to live that I own and I can take care of.
So we kept looking to see if local Gen Zers prefer renting to buying.
Right now, I'm just trying to put all of my extra money into like a pool where I can eventually pull from to get my first home.
Megan Morgan is saving for her first home and is finding it really discouraging.
The more that you save, the higher the prices get, and it makes it really difficult to really reach a point where you can get a home.
We wanted to know if Gen Z could ask a financial advisor any question, what would it be?
What is a good way to like save for such a huge purchase?
There's some things that we can be doing now that we can meet that goal of ownership in the future.
So I'm taking some of the questions we heard to a local financial advisor to see what he has to say about it.
Best time to invest is yesterday, right? I mean, do it as soon as you can. Because even if it's $1, $10, $20, $50, whatever it might be a month, that starts to add up.
Alex Aston advises potential homebuyers to build an emergency fund and then invest that money.
Because investing those dollars can earn money for you. And so that'll make that $80,000 mark that we talked about more achievable with the help of the market.
Aston says a fluctuating market is something homebuyers can always expect. In Bay County, Rachel Flynn, News Channel 7.
Some really good advice there, no matter your age. Well, on the other side of the break, we're sharing some new technology that's on the way, meant to put new parents and their doctors' minds at ease. It's 11:21 now on your Wednesday. Thank you for watching Fox 10 Midday. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us this morning. We have some tech news for new parents. A collaboration between Purdue University and the University of Alabama at Birmingham has resulted in, listen to this, a new smart pacifier. Here's how it works. Microphones built into the tip of the pacifier detect lung sounds, while tiny speakers emit sound waves. That data then gives doctors valuable information about a baby's lung development and even possible breathing problems, something that's very common among newborns.
For example, if you have asthma, you'll hear wheezing sounds. If you have pneumonia, there will be crackling sounds. And this microphone is sensitive enough to pick up all those noises. And it can also put out sounds through the loudspeaker. So the sound goes down into the airways, gets reflected back and comes back. It's like knocking on a box to see if it's hollow or if it's full.
And while Purdue is leading this project in Indiana, UAB will play a key role in testing the device. That phase of the research is scheduled to begin in Birmingham in 2027. Well, more people aren't eating their Wheaties. Jerry of Ben & Jerry's turns in his notice. United plans a hiring blitz, and Starbucks teams up with the LA Olympics. Fox's CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's business headlines.
The maker of Cheerios, Wheaties, and other products says it's dealing with a continued challenging consumer backdrop. General Mills earnings came in better than expected. Sales declined, but not more than forecast. And the company is standing by expectations for the year. Ben & Jerry's co-founder, Jerry Greenfield, stepping down from the ice cream maker after nearly 50 years. Greenfield calls the decision painful, but said parent company Unilever silenced the company's ability to speak up on global issues. In a statement, Greenfield said, quote, "It's with a broken heart that I've decided I can no longer in good conscience and after 47 years remain an employee of Ben & Jerry's." United Airlines hiring more than 2,500 new employees at Newark Liberty International Airport, hoping to fill all positions by the end of next year. The company working to revamp the airport and improve operations after a series of outages and worker shortages. And a new sponsorship for Starbucks. It will be an official partner of the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028, the Paralympic Games, and Team USA. There will be coffee houses in the Olympic and Paralympic Village, and Starbucks coffee will be served at venues, volunteer hubs, and other key locations. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Well, much more coming up in our next half hour of Fox 10 Midday. Law enforcement in Florida is speaking out after the ban on open carry in the state was lifted. Nick?
And overnight tonight, comfortable temperatures once again. Believe it or not, we got to 59 degrees in some locations last night.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back. The ban on open carry in Florida is now lifted. Florida now joins 46 other states that have an open carry law, but officials say it's still generating concern. As of September 12th, the 1st District Court of Appeals ruled the prohibition unconstitutional. Florida was one of just 5 states with an open carry ban. Before the change, anyone who wanted to carry a gun needed a concealed carry license, along with meeting all firearm purchase requirements. Attorney General James Youthmeyer has since advised law enforcement and the Sheriff's Association on how to move forward. Deputies will still enforce laws against reckless display of a firearm, trespassing on private property, and assault. One Florida sheriff speaks out about the decision.
I can't say that there's not certain situations that, when you look at spring break and events like that, that it may be uncomfortable for citizens or for law enforcement. But my uncomfortableness does not trump somebody's constitutional rights. We respect that above all else.
Now, according to the sheriff, people who may not open carry are felons, someone diagnosed as mentally incompetent, those addicted to illegal substances, and individuals subject to a restraining order. Prohibited places include schools, courtrooms, government meetings, polling places, places that sell alcoholic beverages, airport terminals, private properties, and any others prohibited by federal law. Well, meanwhile, in response to Gulf Shore's new noise ordinance, the police department will be monitoring noise levels with a new decibel monitor. The department now has 3 high-quality meters that patrol officers will be trained to use to combat noise pollution. Knowing what the average ambient noise level is was a key component of the new guidelines in the city's amended noise ordinance. Up until now, Gulf Shore's police have had a pretty hard time enforcing noise regulations because there were no specific guidelines. What seemed in excess to one person might not seem so to the next, leaving the law subject to interpretation.
If somebody went in their house, felt that something was unreasonable, and then an officer came and that officer says, I don't feel it's unreasonable, and then another officer comes and they think it's just we put a number on reasonableness.
You can find detailed descriptions about the new noise ordinances on our website. That's fox10tv.com. Well, are you craving a cozy cup of tea and just a touch of London charm? There's a special place you might want to check out along the Eastern Shore. That's where we find Fox 10's Vanessa Pacheco.
Oh, we are here enjoying a bit of tea. I am here at Charming Teacup. I'm here with Madison. Now, Madison, this is such a cute place. Tell me about that.
Thank you. Yes. So we have owned tea rooms in my family for 30 years, and we just knew that the Eastern Shore really needed something unique and special, and lots of pink, lots of girly things, and so we brought the art of afternoon tea here, which is wonderful.
I love it. Now, let's talk about this tea that we're having today.
Yes, so we right now are sipping on our Queen's Tea, which is our signature blend, and it is infused with jasmine, which is just delicious. So everyone at Charming Teacup, when they come for afternoon tea, we'll start with a pot of our Queen's Tea, and then we have over 20 flavors to choose from. So.
Okay, this one is delicious. Now you have this beautiful spread in front of us. Let's talk about that.
Yes, so this is an example of our 3-tier that you would have here for afternoon tea. We always start with sandwiches on the bottom. So we have our egg salad, our English cucumber, and our signature chicken salad on a croissant. And then in the middle are our savories and scones. We have our plain scone that we learned how to make in England, actually, which is wonderful. And then our lemon poppy seed and an English sausage roll. And then on top, we do rotate our desserts seasonally. And right now we have macarons, London fog cake, lemon rosemary cookies, and a Dubai chocolate truffle.
I'm going straight to the dessert. Now, while I do this, let's talk about like your hours. If people want to find y'all, where can they go? How can they find y'all?
Yes, so we are by reservation only, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and you can make those reservations on our website, or you can give us a call. So.
You guys, I'm gonna enjoy this tea here with Madison, but it's so cute. And you walk in here, before you walk in here, you get to pick these beautiful, what do you call these?
These are fascinators. So you can either wear them on a headband or a clip, and my wonderful mom, who owns this as well, has curated them, and it's just a little pop of fun. We also, this is kind of like tea theater here.
Yeah.
We dress in costume and we speak in British accents, so you'll have to put on your best British accent for us and come have tea. So.
All right, well, we're gonna enjoy our tea here. Cheers, Madison. And of course, we're gonna have this all on our website, fox10tv.com. Click on the very Vanessa. So good, so good.
And I have to thank Vanessa, who just came into the studio. As you look at Fairhope, she has brought in some of the treats, and it is quite good. Here, so this is one of the biscuits. This is a savory one. Vanessa she bought back 2 things, a savory and a sweet one. Do you know what this is? No, do not know what this is. Okay.
It's good though.
It is very good though. So good job, Vanessa is the luckiest person in the Fox 10 studio. All right, let's look at what the forecast has here. 59 degrees in Evergreen, 59 in Crestview. That was the observed low this morning. Wow. Very comfortable. Excuse me, I just ate. Very comfortable temperatures right there. And we hope to get down to these numbers again, but it might take us some time. Our forecast lows tomorrow morning are a little different. 63 is the observed low in Mobile, 63 in Fairhope as well. It was a very comfortable morning for us. Overnight, this evening, I should say, very comfortable temperatures in the 80s, generally drier conditions and clear skies. Should be a nice one. Here's those forecast lows overnight tonight. 63 in Evergreen, 63 in Bruton and Monroeville, 66 in Mobile, and 68 in Gulf Shores. Comfortable night ahead. We love that, and that's going to continue. However, the afternoons are still hot. As we go through the evening tonight, again, clear skies expected. Here's tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we see development of cumulus clouds, very clearly indicating on the forecast model there is about a 5 to 10% chance of one location getting a shower, but most places will stay dry overnight, Thursday night into Friday. Another nice night. Then on Friday, a nice quiet day with the afternoon showing a few clouds and maybe even one shower or two. Those rain chances again pretty low, near 5 to 10%. That's what it looks like on Friday night for football. Friday night football is looking great, and into Saturday as well. Football games across the region looking good there for college. This is what your beach forecast looks like into the weekend. This is Friday, low risk of rip current surf around 1 foot. I know the beaches are flying yellow and green flags today, and I think that will continue in the days ahead. All right, so here's the Muggy meter. And what you're looking at is low humidity or noticeable humidity, almost close to the muggy category on a couple of these days. So you'll feel it. The forecast highs stay hot in the 90s. It's not going to be super big with the heat index, so no major issues there. But this is a map to talk about. The long-range temperature outlook valid September 23rd through 27th across the entire country. That's a lot of red. A lot of red, and it means it's very likely that we will be seeing warmer than normal temperatures across much of the country, and that does include our region. So it does not look like fall is arriving, even though it does officially arrive on Monday. You can see that here in the 7-day outlook. There's that little fall icon there. Monday, 20% chance of rain, so not a big one at all. I don't see any big rain chances in the days ahead. I think we keep a very similar pattern with temperatures staying here in the 90s, morning temperatures mostly in the 60s.
All right, Nick, thank you. I'm still going to pretend it's fall despite the weather. Well, we are in the peak of hurricane season as well, and the Coast Guard is raising awareness about their response efforts. The Coast Guard Aviation Training Center in Mobile operates as an aviation and capabilities development center, as well as an operational air station. During hurricane season, the role of the ATC Mobile is to ensure that the U.S. Coast Guard stays mission ready during this crucial time. And that includes search and rescue missions and the movement of cargo to assist in recovery efforts. Fox 10's Stephen Moody actually had a chance to hang out with the Coast Guard this morning, and you can see his full report later today on Fox 10 News starting at 4 p.m. Well, we've got a lot more heading your way on Fox 10 Midday this morning. See what's next in Hollywood. We have a look at the next releases coming up in your Midday Talkers. All right, welcome back in this morning. Wednesday marks the day the United States honors its Constitution and newest citizens.
It marks the day in 1787 when members of the U.S. Constitutional Convention first finished writing the Constitution and signed the nation's guiding document.
Yeah, the U.S. Constitution, beginning with the words "We the people," stands as the world's longest surviving written charter of government.
Every educational institution that gets federal funds is required to hold programs about the Constitution for its students on September 17th.
And this day also recognizes the many new citizens that take an oath of allegiance to the U.S.
Citizenship ceremonies are held in courtrooms, but also in community settings across the country.
And if you really want to delve into the history of the Constitution, make a trip to Washington, D.C.
Now until October 1st, for the first time, the entire Constitution is on display at the U.S. Capitol.
Have you seen it in person?
I have not.
I have not
either.
Have
been to, wait, have I? Wait, have I? No, I can't remember. I have been to D.C. plenty of times. I have family that lives in that area, and that is one of my favorite places to go on earth. It is so pretty.
That's incredible to see. Claudia lived in D.C. for a whole summer, so she was always sending me incredible pictures of the U.S. Constitution as well. National Treasure is a great way to remember the Constitution. One of my favorite movies, for sure.
Gosh.
Well, in the meantime, new evidence suggests switching between standard time and daylight savings time may not be what's actually best for our health.
I could see that. Stanford University researchers studied how the time policies on light exposure and circadian rhythm affect a person's internal clock.
Yeah, looking at staying in standard time, staying in daylight savings time, or shifting between the two, they compared that with CDC data on health issues like stroke, diabetes, and depression.
Finding staying in standard time, which prioritizes morning light, was the clear winner. And switching between time, daylight and standard, being the worst.
So this data suggests staying in standard time could help prevent more than 2.5 million cases of obesity and 300,000 strokes across the country each year.
The findings appear in the Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences.
So how do you feel about this? Any opinion?
Consistency is always a good help. Now, somebody like us, we have very inconsistent schedules sometimes because of news and for me, especially because of weather. But that doesn't help. But like whenever this happens and you get your time change, my schedule's already tight It
Yeah.
makes it even tighter,
Yeah.
adds extra stress. I could see consistency being something that could help.
For sure. You know me, I have a very fixed sleep schedule. So this definitely kind of rattles my routine
She
every
comes in
time.
and say, I got 7 hours instead of 9 hours. I can't do my job. I'm
Prioritize
dying.
your
And I'm-
sleep. I will die on that hill for sure. It's so important. I'm 8 hours at least.
Meanwhile, I'm getting like 2. Anyways.
Yeah, he works harder than me. Stays up later. Anyway, from Sydney Sweeney's dark new thriller to Earthquake's Netflix special.
Here's the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
Hi, Millie.
Hi.
Sweeney's scandalous job, Earthquake rocks the stage, and Cardi B hits the road in the Hollywood Nation. Cardi B is bringing the drama to the stage. The rapper announced the Little Miss Drama Tour, her first headlining arena run kicking off February 11th in Palm Desert, California. The 31-date trek supports her new album, Am I the Drama?, dropping Friday, and marks the biggest tour of her career to date.
This is an outrage.
Legendary comedian Earthquake is shaking up the stage again in today's First Looks. Netflix released the trailer for Joke-Telling Business, his first hour-long special for the streamer, featuring his unfiltered takes on everyday life, relationships, and current events. It follows his hit 2022 half-hour Netflix set, Chappelle's home team, Legendary Earthquake. The new special starts streaming September 30th.
Hello.
Millie's going to be living with us? Sydney Sweeney's dream job turns into a nightmare in the first trailer for The Housemaid. She stars alongside Amanda Seyfried in the thriller about a live-in maid drawn into a dangerous game of secrets and scandal behind closed doors. The film arrives in theaters December 19th. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
All right, lots of options there. Anything catch your eye?
No.
That's because Nick doesn't have time to watch movies
That is also true.
or do anything, but he does have time to do the weather.
Yes, and let's talk about the weather. Actually, I've had a little more time recently because there's not much to talk about. We do not have a very active forecast at all. The daily forecast is quite quiet with temperatures in the 90s in the afternoons. Low rain chances, morning temperatures in the 60s. We do, however, have a new tropical storm that is in the Atlantic. The tropical weather outlook updated there with Gabrielle on the board. Also, one little disturbance behind it here. Matt's update is there. You can also find the forecast track on the map section of the Fox 10 weather app. There it is. A big correction in the initial position early on in the advisories of Tropical Storm Gabrielle. Expected to go near Bermuda as we get to early next week. Then, I want to remind you as well, if you scroll down here, you have your current conditions and then the ability to submit your pictures and videos on the app. We encourage you to do so. Hit Add Media, and there you can actually submit those pictures if you hit Upload Files. A super easy process. We highly recommend that you do that there. Head to the home screen and scroll down, and there you can submit those photos. All right, it is 11:49 right now, and when we come back, we'll have more coming up here on Fox 10 Midday as you take a look outside right now, Dauphin Island. Lovely conditions and light winds, good boating forecast, and low risk of rip currents at the beaches. More coming up.
A man making a pit stop at a gas station had a terrifying close call when an out-of-control car jumped the curb and came right at him. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Watch a man just barely dodge an out-of-control vehicle as it crashes at a Nebraska gas station. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office says the man seen in the video was washing his windshield when the vehicle came careening into view. As it hits the curb and flips onto its side, the man just narrowly avoids the crashing car, which only grazed his leg before it came to rest. The man is then seen walking over to try and help the driver, whom authorities say escaped the crazy caught-on-cam crash with only minor injuries. They also said they have plans to cite the driver for reckless driving and driving without a license, a valid registration, or proof of insurance. Speaking of near misses, a car crash scene in Florida might have been missed if it weren't for a keen-eared deputy. 2 occupants were trapped in a water-filled embankment after their vehicle was hit and sent into the dark ditch. The Martin County Sheriff's Office said the crash scene was not visible from the roadway, so deputies used their ears to follow the sound of the car's horn, locating the wreckage in the water and pulling the victims to safety. Finally, one more caught-on-cam rescue. Watch rescuers rescue a rescue dog. Sorry, too many rescues there. Responding to a reported house fire in Aurora, Illinois, officers found the adopted dog in a smoke-filled room, and then, because he is such a good, smart boy, you can see the dog lead the officer through the house directly to his leash, which the officer then used to take the pup to safety. The family later thanked rescuers for saving their beloved pet, whom they said enjoys snuggling, sleeping, peanut butter, and snoring loudly. Who doesn't? For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Sweetest story there. Well, 3 to know before you go today. There's a disappointing reading on home building. Housing starts declined 8.5% in August alone, and building permits slumped 3.7%. Though the decline comes after a strong July, the housing market faces challenges with high mortgage rates and building material prices, despite steady builder sentiment this month. And then Target is ramping up next-day delivery options ahead of the busy holiday season. They are expanding next-day deliveries for online orders to 35 U.S. metro areas by the end of October. Not sure if ours is included, but Target says the service is free for orders over $35. Target says it's now offering same-day deliveries to more 80% of the U.S. population. The retailer says it plans on expanding delivery options even further into more than 20 additional metro areas next year. Finally, the countdown begins. As of today, there are 99 days until Christmas. So there's time to get a head start on the holiday if you want. Walmart released its 2025 top toys list ahead of the holiday season. The list of 50 of the hottest toys of the year aims to help parents get a huge head start on holiday shopping. Meanwhile, Macy's has unveiled its top 100 holiday gifts, and it will also offer a new Santa National Tour experience. How are you feeling about this one, Nick? 99 days. He groaned over here when we were sharing that story.
It's okay. You got to plan. If you're a big Christmas decorator, you got to be planning weeks ago, months ago.
Right.
I've already gone to Hobby Lobby looking at the Christmas stuff. I've already looked at what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Right.
But that's something that gets done later. I'm still debating on if I want to decorate for Halloween.
Here's the thing. I was in Hobby Lobby yesterday looking for pumpkins. I saw the Christmas stuff and I was like, now I don't want to spend money because Christmas is just a few months away. You know?
It is.
All that consumerism. What can I say?
Yeah, you got to think about how you're going to spend. Anyways, let's talk about the summery forecast. It's still great beach weather out there. Some lovely camera views. Let's talk about the long range. And you can see temperatures in the 90s, morning temperatures in the 60s, rain chances very low in the near term, then around 10 to 20% as we head towards the weekend. First day of fall is on Monday. And it doesn't feel like it. Temperatures will still be very, very warm. 90 degrees in the afternoon.
So 99 days until Christmas, 5 days until the start of fall. That's something we can celebrate. And Halloween is just around the corner.
Yes, I'm actually excited for this. I want it to get a little cooler in the morning still.
Let's hope it will. Thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. We'll have more headlines and a look at your forecast on Fox 10 Live at 3 p.m. Enjoy your day.